to this Wednesday call about meditation. I just want to say hi to everyone. Angela, hello, and we'll make sure we get you solved on your rejoining SARA problem. I saw that this morning, and I'll have Ellie work on that this afternoon. And Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. So good to see you on video. Carolyn, welcome. Nice to see you again. And Jeffrey's here. Yay, Jeffrey. Monica, hi. So glad you're here. I hope you had a nice vacation. And Alice is here. Bruce is here. Yay, Bruce. Hello. And T is here. Welcome, T. Thank you so much. Joanne's here. Yay. There's people I haven't seen in a while. I'm so glad to see you. And Maria's here. Kelly, yay. Hey, Kelly. Joan is here. Welcome, Joan. Anna. Hello, Anna. And Linda, Kinney. Hello. Welcome. And Mary Lynn. Hey, everyone. So let's get started. I don't see anybody needing to come in right now. So let's get started on this. We're going to talk about sorry, my throat is acting weird today. We're going to talk about meditation and animals. And of course, the Let Animals Lead method is all about meditation and animals. Even though we are animal Reiki, our Reiki is meditation based. And some might think, oh, that's not really Reiki, but we all have to remember that Usui didn't use hand positions. He was meditation based when he started this system. So we're actually going back to the origins in the Let Animals Lead method. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about how animals can help us with our meditation practice, because the better that we can be in our meditation practice, the better help we can be for animals. But it's kind of like, oh, thanks, Linda. Here, let me do this. Let me see. Is anybody else having a problem hearing me besides Linda? Okay. Let me check my computer audio. Sorry about this. Technical difficulties. Thank you so much, Linda, for pointing that out. Sorry. Showing that all the way. Is this any better, or is it still bad? Oh, Joanne says the captions work great. Okay. So is it better, Mary Lynn? Because I could see you. Is the sound better? Okay, great. All right. So we'll get going with this, and hopefully just let me know in the chat. Oh, here we go. We've got a bunch of chats here. Oh, Say just joined. Sorry, just joined, and she said she can hardly hear. Can't hear, and the sound is all the way up. Okay, so let me just do one more thing since I'm in Zoom. Zoom changed some things, so maybe it's this. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, my microphone is really low for some reason, and it's all the way up. Let me try this. Yeah, I can see what you guys are saying. Let me get on a headset then. It looks like the speaker is fine. Speaker's fine. It's just my mic. So let me see if I can put on my headset. Appreciate that private message. Okay, so is this better, you guys? It looks like it's better. Okay, it's going green for me. So yay. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate this. So let's go back to the very beginning now. Dawn will be very happy because she is just joining us and she didn't miss anything because of the technical difficulties. So welcome everybody to our Wednesday call. I said all my hellos, and now I want to talk to you a little bit about meditation and animals. So again, the Let Animals Lead method is based on meditating with animals. Even though we are animal Reiki, we go back to the origins of Reiki, which Usui didn't use hand positions.
his system was based on meditation. So we're actually more in alignment with the original origins of Reiki than most animal Reiki schools. We are not human Reiki adapted to animals. So part of that, the big part of our practice is meditation. But a lot of people have a hard time with meditation. And I am one of those people. I have adult ADD. I think we all have adult ADD now in the world that we live in, because everything's going so fast, and we have our phone, we have our computer, we have TV, we have da da da. So I feel like we all have adult ADD, and it's very hard to settle our minds. But the good news is that our animals can actually help us. Now, you might have a cat, you might have a dog. It's the same for all animals. The way we're going to approach, the way we're going to ask them for help is all the same. I just taught a level 2, well, an animal Reiki for Reiki practitioners class at Zeb's which is a equine sanctuary. So they have donkeys and they have horses. And what was really beautiful about this was that on the first day, the donkeys were very into our practice. And the second day, the horses were very into the practice. And the donkeys were more like doing their own thing. But what's really interesting is when you are in that space and you're meditating a lot, you start to feel that deeper connection. And we're humans, so we want the animals to constantly be coming up to us or touching us or making us feel better in some way. But the deeper part of meditating with animals is when you're just accepted. So with the horses, it's really interesting because you start to feel their acceptance of you as part of their herd. So sometimes, like, we were all spread out, and then I walked down this little slope down to the barn, and the horses were up above, and the lead horse, Merlin, got upset because I was going down to the barn. So he started to whinny, like, wait a minute, something's wrong with the herd. You're going in there. And as soon as I went in the barn and came out, he's like, oh, okay. And then watch me. So in that beautiful space of meditation, you're not only becoming calm in your own body, but you're becoming a part of the deeper web where there's all connection, and you can start to feel that. And that's really what meditation brings to us, is that acknowledgement and feeling that we're part of a bigger connection. So when we're down here in our human bodies, it's really hard for us to feel connected. We feel distance very deeply, right? We're not connected to in the environment. We're not connected to animals. We're not connected to each other. But when we start to slow our bodies down, when we start to slow our minds down through meditation, then we can start to feel that deeper connection. And animals are the best examples of this, because I mean, honestly, if I'm in a group of people, I can't really feel connection unless we're all laughing at the same thing, or we're all crying about the same thing, or whatever that is. Like in this group, I feel very connected because we're all here for a common purpose. But if I'm at the grocery store, I don't necessarily feel connected to everybody. I feel pretty disconnected sometimes. But what animals can help bring to us is that immediate feeling of connection. And then it becomes more and more common for us, right? So if you're meditating with your dog or your cat, you start to feel that deeper sense of connection. So then when you go out in nature and you just sit and breathe, you immediately start to feel that deeper connection. It's much easier with animals in nature because they are mindful, they are present. Humans aren't. We aren't present, we aren't mindful, we're on our phones, we're thinking about something else, we're blah 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 blah. So it's very hard to create connection in that space. But with animals, with nature, it's so easy, and it reminds us, oh, I'm part of something bigger. And when you connect to something bigger, it really helps you to be able to meditate and let go and start to relax. So for example, at Zeb's, when we were started to meditate, when we started to calm our bodies, our minds, the animals started to become more calm. And they started to kind of do little drive-bys come by, or little Katie is a mini donkey. She would come up and put her butt up against people, or she would lean against people, or she'd stick her face like in their lap. She really wanted that connection, right? And so it's really easy to feel it, because it's you can feel your meditation go deeper when an animal connects with you. So how do we create this? In a class, it's so easy to create that space, and you start to really deeply feel it in every part of your body. But how do we create that with animals? And how do we deepen our own practice with animals, which is our subject today? Well, it's really simple. What we have to do first is we have to be present. We have to be in the moment. And how do we do that? It's super easy. If you can focus on something. So let's say like you're doing dishes. That's a meditation. You're doing dishes, and if you're thinking about the dishes and you're focused on cleaning them and rinsing them and putting them away, that's a meditation. If your mind starts to wander, you can always just bring yourself back. No, I'm washing dishes. I'm going to pay attention to my dishes. If you're folding laundry, it's the same thing. If you're riding your bike, running and jogging, those are deeper meditations because you really do have to be present. You can't be, your mind can't be other places because you have to pay attention to where you're going, what you're running on or what you're riding on, and make sure you're not going to hit something and fall. So that's another way that you can kind of, if you're a runner or a jogger, or if you're doing exercise of some sort, that's a way for you to start becoming more mindful of, oh yeah, this is a meditation. Meditation isn't about sitting quietly with your eyes closed and going, okay, I need perfect circumstances. That's a great time for a quiet time out, but it's not necessarily meditation. Meditation is something that you can do anywhere. It's just about being mindful. So a lot of people say meditation and mindfulness is separate, but it's not. I think John Kabat-Zinn made it popular in the 70s. They had to say mindfulness because meditation was seen as religious. So mindfulness became very, very popular. And then as time went on, people could say meditation because it quit being so religious and it was more about mindfulness and presence. And, you know, Thich Nhat Hanh made this very popular as well. It's about being present. Well, we're all here right now. We're all present. We're in this beautiful space. This too is like a lead in to meditation. When you're calm, when you're present, when you're connected, that's all part of being in a meditative space. And how our animals can help us is that when we sit with them, if we can just bring ourselves into this moment of, I'm sitting next to my dog, I'm sitting next to my cat, I'm sitting next to my fish, I'm sitting next to my hamster, or I'm out with my horse, whatever that is, just taking that moment and going, I'm here, I'm present, right? And that can be really helpful. Another thing, and we always say this, we always ask permission, right? But we can also ask for help. You can ask your dog, could you please help me try and meditate? Could you please help me get into that space that you're always in? When we ask them for our help, they're like, ah, oh, thank God, they want help. And I know it sounds silly, but practice this. Practice it outside. Practice it with the wild animals, with the birds, with the squirrels. Practice asking, could you please just help me become more calm and more present? And that's really powerful. And I know it sounds silly and you're like, yeah, that's probably not going to help, or that's not going to happen with my animals, especially cats. Cats are a little more aloof, but they will help you. And it might take a few times with your own animals, right? Because your own animals know you better than you know yourself. So you might say, yeah, I'm going to meditate. And then your mind starts going off and you start thinking about something else. And like 2 minutes in, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do something else. Okay. So your animals are used to you doing that, your own personal animals. So just be patient with them and they will be patient with you. Just sit in that space. So, how can you calm your mind, right? How can you sit in that space if you have adult ADD, or if your mind goes a million miles an hour, or if you're focused on something that's bringing you a lot of stress? So right now, my pit bull, who we think is probably about 16, he's a rescue. He's a rescue, but they do have records on him. So it's, we think he's probably around 16 years old. We don't know his exact birth date, but he's having a hard time this morning. And I'm trying not to get caught up in that emotion of me thinking, oh my gosh, it's his time is coming, his time is coming. That's hard to do when they get older because any little thing, and he's had a lot of stomach upset. And I was gone and I came home to a big accident in the house, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, he's sick. And then he seemed okay. And then he went outside and he had another accident. So I'm in this energy right now of, oh my gosh, something is going to happen, right? So my energy is going like this. And I know he can feel my energy going like this. So I'm trying really hard to say, all is well, right? All is well. And that's something that you can do to calm your mind and your body. Just focus on that phrase, all is well. Now, pairing your breath with it is really powerful because your breath slows your mind. Your breath is completely connected to your mind. So if you slow your breath, you can slow your mind. So the breath that we always do here, I love this breath. It's one we always start our meditations with. It's one I always do in class, is where we breathe in deeply through our nose, pull our breath into our belly, expand your belly, hold for just a second, and then slowly release your breath out your mouth. And the trick here is to release your out breath should be just a little bit longer than your in breath. So you would go, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, expand your belly, breathing out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a couple breaths longer, or maybe you're going to breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, expand, hold for a minute, and then slowly out breath 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As long as you can get it out. And allow yourself, if it's because sometimes breathing in and then breathing out longer can kind of make you feel like you're going, like you're trying to catch your breath. Just give yourself a moment and then breathe in. You can take a couple calming breaths and then go, okay, I'm going to do it again now. And just making sure you expand your belly. The reason we expand our belly is our connection to grounding, is our connection to earth. It's why our practice, the Let Animals Lead practice, is so powerful, because it has such incredible grounding techniques in it. And this is one of them. When we ground ourselves, when we connect to our belly, connect to that earth energy, connect to what's called our hara, that grounds us. It brings stability within our body. So now we can start to calm our mind just by breathing into our belly, expanding our belly, and creating a grounded energy. And then when we slowly breathe out, when we breathe out longer than we're breathing in, and we're breathing out our mouth, that's stimulating our parasympathetic nervous system. So that now is bringing in a calm into our body. So even just 3 of these breaths can immediately start to feel calming in your body. You can start to feel your stress, and you can even tell yourself, with my out breath goes my stress. With my out breath goes anything that's no longer serving me, right? And you just kind of talk yourself through this. And we'll practice this at the end. But right now, since I am going into high beta, getting worried about Shrek, I'm really practicing this breath. I was practicing it before I got on the call, just reminding myself to be calm, to try and talk slower, to try and really keep my energy and my body calm, because my energy goes out far. And so even if I'm sitting here talking to you and my energy is not calm, he's going to feel that, because animals are so connected. That's how they communicate, right? And so if they're communicating in energy and my energy is really off and really just irritating to him, then that's not good for him. I need to create a really peaceful space for him, even with me talking. And here's the magic about being in this space. When we create that calm energy within us, and we can calm our minds, calm our bodies, that's a meditation. We don't have to be eyes closed like this. We can be talking. And I see this all the time when you go into the shelter and you offer a Reiki session, or in class, when you start talking, the energy doesn't stop. The energy is still going out and it's still calm. So we'll be in the middle of class, we'll be talking, we'll be sharing our experiences, and the horses or the donkeys will come in the middle and just relax and hang out in that energy. Even though we're talking, we're not, in that quiet, okay, I'm trying to bring, this energy into my body. I'm trying to calm. I'm trying to really focus on the Reiki techniques that we teach, right? But we're talking. But because we're still in that really calm space, and we're talking slowly and we're talking calmly, the energy is still calm and it's reverberating out to the animals. So you can be having a conversation with your partner, with your children, or anything. And just like I'm having a conversation right now, and Shrek is nice and calm because I'm calm. right? So when we talk about meditating with our animals, it doesn't have to necessarily be, hey, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to go into this quiet space. You don't have to do that. Just bringing that calm into your body with your breath is really, really powerful. But let's say you want to do an official meditation. If you can't meditate on your own, you can bring in music or you can do a guided meditation. Now, even though you're sitting with your animal and your animal is going to be your guru, you might need just something to guide you to go deep into that space. And once you get into that space, allow yourself to feel this energy the animal is sharing with you, whether it's your own animal, whether it's a wild animal, just allow yourself to be open to that. And it's really easy when you do a guided meditation. Now, one thing I learned from going to Joe Dispenza's retreat is the practices that we use are the same that he's using, only he's talking about it a little differently and he's focusing on different aspects, but he's drawing you into the same place. So if you want to practice Dr. Joe's meditations, he has really one on heart coherence. They're all free on YouTube. If you have an Audible account, Dr. Joe, there's at least 2 free meditations. One's on abundance and one's on the heart healing. So if you have a paid Audible account, you can go on there and get his meditation for free. And he has a really beautiful voice and he really helps guide you. But in that, set your intent that before you start your meditation, that you're open to connecting deeper on a deeper level with your animal and just allow yourself to go into that space. And when you're in that space, don't focus on your animal, just focus on what you're feeling and allow yourself to feel that deepness. Because I can guarantee you, when you try to do the meditation by yourself, like in your room or your living room, you have no animals around, it's going to be harder. And you're going to understand that animals really support us when we're in that quiet meditative space, because that is a space that is natural to them. They don't have to practice the precepts. They don't have to say all is well. They don't have to do all those things. All they have to do is breathe and they go into that space. You think about a lion on the Serengeti, he's completely calm. He's completely connected to everything in his surrounding and he is present and he's mindful. He's not asleep. He's not anything. He's just there. But it is a meditative space. And that's what animals bring to us, because naturally when they're born, and healthy animals that aren't, having health issues or aren't neurotic, they can easily access that space. And the importance of this is that when our animals are not feeling well, like right now, Shrek isn't feeling well. So it's really important for me to focus on my breath, to focus on bringing calm into my body. Because then when I sit with him, it's not that he isn't going to help amplify the space, he will, but I'm going to help him to feel really calm. I'm going to help him to feel like, okay, he has pain, but by being in that space, that pain starts to subside. The same benefits that meditation brings for people, calm, lessens pain, lessens stress, is the same thing that meditation, when we meditate and calm our bodies, brings to animals. So it's a little bit confusing. It's not like the animals are going to be meditating. They're just already in that meditative space. But when they're hurt, when they're injured, when they're sick, when they're stressed, they're kind of coming out of it. And it's harder for them to access that space within them. But when we can sit with them and be calm, then we help them access that again. And they go, ah, they sigh. You get that a lot when you sit with animals and you meditate. They'll sigh, they'll hang their heads, they'll start to like close their eyes, they start to get more relaxed because now they're connected with you. They're showing us that this is what connection is about. But again, as humans, it's really hard for us to connect. When I'm at the grocery store, I'm not connecting with humans. But when I'm out in nature, it's really easy for me to connect. When I'm with my animals, it's easy for me to connect. When I'm at the rescues, it's easy for me to connect. It's much easier to connect to animals than it is for me to connect to people. But then we have this beautiful, lovely group, and it's really easy for me to connect to all of you because we're all in this beautiful same space together. We all have the same commitment that we want to do better for animals, that we love animals, and we're all here. How can we help animals more deeply, right? And I just want to say, I know a couple more people joined while I was talking. Elaine, welcome, and Stephen, welcome to the call. And so I don't think that you have been here before, Stephen, so welcome. And if you have, I apologize. And Kelly, I did get your message that you're in the car. So let's talk a little bit about how we can calm our bodies some more. Okay. So we can, just to kind of recap a little bit, we could focus on our breath, right? Breathing in deeply into our belly, expanding our belly, making sure our out breath is a little bit longer than our in breath. Do that for at least 5 or 10 times to really start to bring calm and peace into your body. You can say the all is well mantra just as you're breathing, all is well, all is well. Just reminding yourself that in this moment, all really is well. Because remember, all you have is this moment. Yesterday is already done. What's happened has happened. And we don't know if we have tomorrow. You know, anything can happen to us. We're in war right now. There's nuclear weapons. Anything can happen to us. So we only have this moment. And that's what animals teach us. Animals are always in the present moment. They're not worried about what's going to happen in an hour. They're worried about what's going to happen right now. So we can be present with them and bring calm and peace. Shrek isn't thinking, oh, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to feel better in an hour? Shrek is just thinking about this present moment. So what I can offer him is peace in this present moment. And what he offers me, even though he's sick and doesn't feel better, when he connects with me, he offers me that deeper space. So no matter where an animal is, no matter if they're old and dying or if they're sick, their spirit is still so much stronger than their body. We get caught up in what's happening to their body. Like right now, I'm kind of caught up in what's happening to Shrek's body. But I have to remember Shrek's spirit is huge. And so when I can calm myself and really connect to Shrek's spirit and just say, you know, Shrek and his higher self, I'm connecting with you. And I would love if you can help support me in this space. Shrek can do that for me because I'm not asking his physical body. His physical body is too weak, but his spiritual body, his soul, who he really is at his core, that is strong. And I know that I've shared this story before. When Kathleen had breast cancer, right? Kathleen is still this beautiful animal Reiki teacher. She's a visionary. She's a leader. But people stopped seeing Kathleen as that. They started seeing her as Kathleen with breast cancer. Oh my gosh, Kathleen's got breast cancer. Da 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 da. And they quit seeing her as her higher self. Yes, her body is having some issues, but Kathleen's strong and she has a beautiful higher self. And that's what we do to animals when we focus on what's happening to their physical body. So one thing that they can help us do is rise above that and go to that higher place where we get away from focusing on the physical and go up to that higher level where we're connected in a much beautiful, much calmer, much more loving space. We can let go of what's happening to that physical. So now going back to this, I'm talking about these things, go to the higher place. It's so easy. It's not easy because your mind always wants to get in the way of what's happening to you. So you can be doing this beautiful breath. You can be saying the all is well mantra, right? You could be in this beautiful space with your animal. And then all of a sudden, here comes your mind. Deep, 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 deep. Oh my gosh, aren't you worried about this? What about this? Do you really have time to meditate? Do you really have to? Here's your mind starting to hijack everything that you just created. Ah, this is my mind all the time. So, what we can do, what works for me, it may work for you, is we can say, hey, I've got this. I've got this. It's okay. Yeah, I know. I know we got a busy day, but I've got 10 minutes and we can calm down. And so when you do that, when you acknowledge your mind and say, it's okay, I got this, your mind will start to calm down. And then it might go, oh yeah, yeah, but remember, yep, I know. You can also visualize a box. I'm going to put all my worries into this box. I had to do that today. I had a lot on my mind. I've got a lot of work going on. I've got classes to fill in at care. And so I had to put all my worries in the box while I was meditating this morning. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to go deep into my meditation. And my meditation was so much better because I put my worries into my box. I just told my mind, you know what? As soon as I'm done with this meditation, I'm going to open this box and I'll go back to worrying. But right now, I really want to be in this space. I really just want to be. And I had this beautiful meditation. It was wonderful. Now I wasn't here. I was at a friend's house when I was doing my meditation. So I didn't have Shrek. I walked into that this morning. So unfortunately, I didn't realize I could have done this with Shrek earlier. So I am going to be doing this as soon as I get off this call with Shrek. But just putting those worries aside, like if your animal is sick, put those worries aside. Just go, you know what? He's still going to be sick in 10 minutes when I'm done with this. So why not just let yourself go? So tell your mind it's okay. Your mind is your friend. Your mind is the one that tells you, hey, there's danger. Like, right? If you're driving too fast and your mind's all, oh, the speedometer, there's police around, you got to slow it down, right? Your mind is always trying to help you, but your mind is also like an over worried mother. Are you sure you can do this? Are you sure you have time for this? Are you sure you want to do this? Da, 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 right? So we have to say, hey, it's okay. Our mind also knows us better than ourselves, like I said. So you sit down, you're all, I'm going to meditate with my cat. I'm going to be in this beautiful space. You start to do your breath. You feel really good about it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap. I don't know if I turned the stove off. Did I turn the stove off? And then you start thinking and you get up. And so your mind knows you might do that. Your animals know that too. It was what I was referring to earlier, but your mind also knows that. So your mind is going to start to go, yeah, that stove. Aren't you worried about it? Because it knows you're not really that committed and you might get up and it's like, hey, I won. So we have to say, it's okay. If the stove is on, I'm only doing this for 10 minutes. It's okay. I'm going to wait. Just keep telling your mind, it's okay. It's okay. I promise you, the more you do that, the easier it will be. The more you put your mind in a little box, you can wrap up your box, you can put pretty wrapping paper on it, whatever you want to do, put your mind and all your troubles away and just be in that moment. And that's why I love music because I can be in meditation and my mind will attach to the music. It'll attach to the notes and it'll kind of be like a wave and my mind will stay focused on that. And so it keeps me in that present moment. It keeps me in that space and it keeps me going deep. Also, a really easy thing you can do is focus on your animal's breath. If you focus on your animal's breath, when they're calm, their breath is nice and slow. So if you focus on their breath and match your breath to theirs, you can get into this beautiful rhythm where you're both breathing in and then you breathe out and you breathe in and you breathe out and you just kind of match that. And oh, Susan, I didn't see you. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And so we can do that with our animals. There's lots of things we can do to create calm and peace, but the easiest is just focus on your breath. Focus on your breath and find another point for you, whether it's music or a guided meditation to really help you go deep. And then once you go deep, you're going to start to feel your animals start to go deep with you, right? Because you're in that beautiful space. So when I teach a class, when we're in a classroom situation, and Susan was just in my animal Reiki for Reiki practitioners at Zeb's, you start to really feel the energy of the horses, of the property. You start to feel, wow, this is really deep. And it's not anything that you're doing. You're just in calm. And in that calm space, you really start to connect to everything around you. And the people are calm, the animals are calm, the environment is calm, even the wild birds, even the neighboring neighbors, everybody gets quiet. And it's really funny. Once we stop an official meditation, everything starts to get noisy again. Like, they had like chainsaws or something going on. Every time we did our meditations, it would be really quiet. And then when we would stop, things would start going again. So you don't know how you're really affecting everything around you when you connect to animals in that beautiful meditative space. So I want to just do one more point. Then I want to open it up to all of you because I'm sure you have questions about this. So I think that's pretty much it. It's basically, it's all about being present and going deeper when you're with an animal, right? And asking them for their help. Just ask them, hey, please help me. Please help me connect deeper to you. Please help me get into this meditative space that you get into every single day. And that'll really help you. And then just make sure you're setting your intent to be mindful. Set that intent. I'm going to let everything go. And then do your breathing, match your breathing to your animal, do your breath, you're breathing in deeply to your belly, expand your belly, doing your out breath for longer than your in breath. making sure your mind is open, making maybe playing a guided meditation, maybe playing music, and then also making sure your mind is calm, making sure your mind, it's not to say you won't have thoughts come through. You might even have a solution come through. You might have something that you've been ruminating about for weeks, and all of a sudden in that really super quiet space, it's like, boom, that's what you need to do. That's okay. That's actually beautiful. I love it when that happens to me. I love it when I'm in that meditative space and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, yes. And you can say, yes, thank you. And then you go right back into your space. You don't need to stop and go, okay, so how am I going to do this? Or, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. No, just say, thank you. Thank you. Because when your mind is calm, things will start to come through that need to come through, that should come through. So let's open it up. And please don't be shy. Please unmute yourself. Um, say what you need to say, ask a question, share a story if you want to share about how it works for you. But I want to hear from you because it helps all of us when we share. And I'm sure you have questions. If you have questions, well, how exactly do you do this? Or I don't understand what you just shared, Leah. Please just share with me. Unmute. And this happens every time, and everybody's very shy, but please don't. Okay, yes, Mary Lynn, thank you so much.
Yes. Would you, Leah, repeat about the focus with the animal's spiritual body and physical
Yeah, yeah. So
that,
so it's like, you have well, you have a dog, right, Mary Lynn?
and a
And
cat?
so
Yeah.
yeah, and so let's say your dog is ill, right? So that's physically, right? But when you're connecting to your dog, you're letting go of what's happening to him. You're letting go of that and you're just in that beautiful space and you start to calm your mind, calm your body and start to connect to that spirit of your dog. So maybe you think about your dog when your dog does really silly things, right? And makes you happy. You can connect to that memory, to that, and that helps you to realize, oh, my dog is so much better, or my dog is so much bigger than his body, right? Your dog, like when they come to you when you're sad, right? They know this. It has nothing to do with physicalness. It has to do with energy. So when we start to realize, okay, it's the energy of my dog, his funny personality, or how he's there for me, or just his calm presence, that's all energy, and it's a higher energy. It's part of his higher self. Whereas his physical body could be hurting, right? But we tend to focus on that. Oh my gosh, he's in pain. Oh my gosh, he's struggling to breathe. We have to let go of that and go, no, I'm going to go deeper and I'm going to connect with that. I'm glad you asked that, because thinking of a memory of them, like a happy memory of them in their happiest place, really helps them too. Because when you're focused on that, so like, let's say your dog loves running outside in the grass and loves to do zoomies and he's all happy. You can focus on that. Oh, yeah, I love it when he's out there, and remember that. And you can share that beautiful energy, that beautiful memory that can also help you get above whatever is happening to them physically. But that's for us what we're doing when we're just meditating. We're trying to connect to that. We're just asking permission. That's what I mean about connecting to the higher self in that moment. We're just asking permission. Hey, could you help me with my meditation? You're really connecting to their energetic, to their psychic and spiritual, to their soul, right? They're not speaking back to you and going, yeah, of course, I'm going to help you. They just relax and connect, and you can feel that. So like at class this weekend, the horses weren't saying, yeah, we're going to connect with you. They would just be really calm, and they would come up and they'd hang their heads and they'd start yawning. And I got a really good video of this one horse, Star, and she was just all about the energy. She was just relaxed and yawning, and her tongue was coming out, and she was walking with another horse that she's kind of bonded to, but we were afraid she was going to fall because she could barely walk. She was so in this deep space of relaxation. But it wasn't like one of us was, oh, okay, I'm causing this. It was the energy of all of us together. And when she connected to us, or like, even when your dog connects to you, the energy is amplified. They're bringing you up to a stronger vibration. We're at a lower vibration down here as humans. I think, what did they say? Like, the frequency of light we can only see less than 1% of the frequency of light. So all the colors, everything we see is less than 1% of the frequency of light that's out there, right? The energy of light. We can only connect to a very small percentage of the energy that is being shared out there. So when we connect with our animals in that deeper space, they're bringing us up so that that percentage is a little bit higher. We start to feel deeper. We start to connect, to nature, to everything. It's not just our dog, just right. You really start to feel your body expand and connect deeper to everything around you, not just in this space. And that's how animals help us. They really help us go higher and deeper. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love to hear from someone else. I know you guys have questions. Or you want to share? Yes. Okay, so we'll do Beth and then Carolyn. Thank you. Beth, thank you. So good to see you.
Oh, it's so good to be here. Thank you. I was just going to share that I don't have an animal right now, but when I go into the shelter and I meditate, I have the most profound meditations that I've never had alone.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm meditating with a group. And I feel that we are all having the most profound experience because we are in a group. I think you were just saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That there is just this total experience. And I think it does spread throughout the shelter. I love spending time with my dogs. Oh, with the dog. That's where I spend a lot of time with the dogs. But when I go to the cats, they're all blissed out. So I really feel like this tremendous light and love is coming from the dog barn, and it's a total group of,
Yeah.
it takes on its own life. It's the most profound experience. So
I love that.
You just said that anyway.
Because it compounds, right? So like we think we're sitting with one dog, but it starts to spread and compound because everyone starts to feel that and it starts to amplify. And yeah, and it's that intent, right? Of sharing. And then it just goes, oh, we're here, we're going to relax. And oh, that feels really good. Oh, I want to relax. Boom, 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 boom. And pretty soon it's like you said, then you go into the cat room and everybody's blissed out because everybody's enjoying it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Beth. I love that. Carolyn.
Okay, I had a story to share also. A couple weeks ago, my male cats, my two boy cats, were going nuts because I hadn't been letting them outside much because my neighbor's cat was eaten by a coyote. So they were both like going nuts, driving us nuts, and I'm like, okay, I'll take them each out for 5 minutes each, and and then I brought them back in, and then I was excited because I had bought the biomusic one.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to go meditate to that. So. And the biomusic one for me is wonderful because, like you said, there's music, which is really good. And whatever it does to me, it lets me see colors and I feel the energy. So I've got like 3 different things to focus on, besides the breathing. So that's wonderful. So I probably I don't know how long I listened to it, but I'm listening to it and listening to it. And then when I finally came to and opened my eyes, I had one cat behind me in the cat tree asleep and another cat. These are the 2 boys who'd been rammy, and another cat on the floor in the room asleep. And, and I didn't say anything to my husband, but later he says to me, you did a really good job getting those cats out today. Of course, I'd only taken each of them out for 5 minutes. I said, no, I really didn't take them out much. I said, we just meditated together.
Oh my God.
And so it changed the whole energy. It was really cool.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I love that you're using the music. And I love that biomusic one is working so well for you. And it really is. I know I've been playing it so much for my own animals. And it's just amazing how peaceful and calm they become. But that's so amazing. He thought you took them outside and they got all ran out, and then
No, we've just been
their
meditating
energy.
together.
But you can see how powerful that is. Like, they were really stressed out, and
Uh-huh.
they, and they couldn't get out and they wanted to go out, and then you create this beautiful space and they're like, because that's relaxing. I love
Mhm.
that. Thank you so much. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. But it's the power of calming our bodies and our mind. And
Right.
Dial One music, I know, I agree with you. I don't see the colors, but I don't know what that music does. And it's weird because some of it's like house music. It's just calms you. There's something in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've done communications after it, and
Oh,
and which is, and I continue to see, yeah, it just gets me into the energy of the animal so much more.
oh, wow. That's really good to know. You'll have to do a testimonial for them on that. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's so good to see you. So if you aren't on video and I can't see you, that's totally fine. You can just unmute yourself. So if you have something you want to share, and you want to unmute yourself, or you just want to say something,
I'd like to say
feel free.
something,
Yeah,
Leah.
yeah,
Can
yeah,
you hear me?
yeah.
I'd like to share about this spay neuter clinic. I'm in Panama, and once a month we have spay neuter for cats and dogs, and there's typically anywhere between 1 to 200 or more animals. And so the last couple times I was there, it was kind of overwhelming because I close my eyes. It helps me focus and breathe and get into the moment as I connect. And I don't want to be in anyone's way. Sometimes I am, and I'm not sure, I just want to make sure and be mindful of space and not getting in anybody's way with all the vets and techs and everything. So what I decided to do was I decided to go into this little storage room that they have there. And I thought, you know what? Quantum energy doesn't necessarily care about where you are in space and time. What would happen if I did it in here? Okay. It was nice and relaxing. I brought a chair in there for myself, and I told one of the volunteers, I said, this is where I'm going to be if you need me and there's an emergency or whatever. And they were okay. So I sat in there, and I was there probably for a couple of hours. I took a break in between, but it allowed me to, and there were people coming in and out, and apologizing. I said, no, it's okay. It's fine. It really allowed me to deeply, deeply connect and focus with the whole building, with the volunteers, everyone that was there. I set up the sacred geometry. So I pictured the sacred geometry of the building, and then I expanded out. And it was amazing. And when I finished, I'm never really sure, how things affected the animals and whatnot. But one thing that someone told me when they saw me walking around, they said, "Oh, you are here." I said, "Yeah." "Oh, somehow I knew you were here because the energies were so different. I could feel it." She said, "But I didn't see you." I said, "Yeah, I was in the little storage room." She says, "Oh, well, thank you." So it was a really cool validation. And I did notice once I started walking around, like, things were really calm. People were moving slowly. There were no emergencies. The feedback I got from the gal who's in charge, she also said something similar too. So again, if you can't have the opportunity to be right in front of the animal, or there's space, kind of like that parade that I did, and I was up on a balcony, half a mile away. This energy is so powerful that you can still do what you need to do and achieve amazing things, even if you're not right in front and getting feedback from the animals directly. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, yes. And and I love that how you're explaining. Sorry, there's a little fly. I'm letting him be on me. I love how when you went in and you just focused and your energy went out, how it created a difference. And we think that we're one person, our energy is just right here, but it's not. Our energy is huge. Our energy goes out whether we have that intention or not. Our energy is affecting what's around us. And it's so wonderful that they noticed, the staff member noticed that there's a definite shift in energy. And it's like, oh, this is what happens when Anne's here, but Anne's not here.
Yeah, I mean, that was just one person I ran into. I'm sure if I asked a few more, I would probably get the same thing, which is
Yeah.
amazing. The other thing I wanted to say is Mary Lynn was talking about the energy of her animal and, utilizing that as a helper, to lead us, to help us out. And my friend once said to me, she's a shaman, and she goes, well, it's like, remember the energy of your dog when he was there? Everyone has an energy signature. And I thought, like a fingerprint. I thought, oh, that's brilliant. I like that. So I'll just go into the happiest times, the joyful times when we were together, and I'll sit in that, and then I'll get that signature on me, and like, oh yeah, it wasn't when he was sick. It was when we had the most joy in our lives together. That's the signature I want. Lordy,
Yes.
help me recreate this. And so that signature, go back to that feeling that we had with that animal. And then it kind of connects you to them in an amazing way. Anyway, it does for me. But I like that fingerprint or that energy signature. We all have it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I like the
But
way that was just.
I love how you said that, think of that happier moment, because we want to bring joy and love into our practice. We want our animals to feel that. They don't want to sit there and be worried. That's not a good feeling. Humans love that, right? Oh, feel sorry for me. This is happening. I'm sad. And you want other people to go, oh, that's so horrible. Well, animals don't want that. They want joy. They want love. They want, oh, I want to feel happy. And so when we can create that happy memory in our bodies, right? And then our energy becomes happier and lighter. And that's what they want to connect to too. So visualization is great for that. Oh, and then Marilyn said, thanks. And she'll use that. Yay. See, this is why I love our community, because we all have some really wonderful things to share. Oh, Kelly, so good to see you on camera. I'm glad you got to where you had to get safely. So, would anyone else, I know Joanne, I'm not sure if you're unmuted, so I'm not sure if I'm just looking at the comments here. Oh, and then Angela also said love that. I'm not sure, Joanne, if you had something to say, because you are unmuted. So I'm gonna just go on. Does anyone else want to share? Kelly, yeah, you're unmuted.
Hi, sorry, I was on a curly road. I guess you had to let me in a bunch of times. But I love the topic, and I was thinking, like this past week, I was every morning like checking the news and everything when I first got up, and I go down to sit in my meditation space where Bo usually joins me, my big orange boy. So he'd come down, and then I'd be like looking through stuff, and I wasn't doing my meditation. He'd just get up and leave. Okay, no, you're not here for this. And then once I put the phone down, put the music on, he'd hear the gong ringing, he'd come back and get my lap. And so, sometimes, I think he's just such a great, barometer for me. Like, Kelly, this is not what you're here for. I came down to meditate with you and you're not doing it. And so I'm just going to leave and teach you a lesson.
It's so true. They know. I mean, it's like horses will do that too, right? Like you're sitting in that
Yep.
meditative space and then your mind goes and they go, oh, you don't want to meditate anymore. Okay. And they walk off. But if you go back, they might come back to you. But yeah, no, I love that. And I love how you said that when you would put on the gong, the music, that's another way. Like when my dogs hear a certain a meditation song that I use, it's like boom. It's like Pavlov's response. They go choom, into that energy, because that energy, it does it to my body too, right? So as soon as
Right.
you hear those dongs, your body starts to calm down too.
Right.
And so it's like that. Yeah, I love that. So that's something
So
we all could do. Go ahead.
just, after the retreat this weekend too, I'm just talking about how the energy we leave makes such a difference in what we put out there. And I got a text from the owner of the inn, Missy, who owns the sanctuary, texted me that Sunday night and said, oh my gosh, it's been so chaotic here. And after you guys left, everything was so peaceful. Everything was so calm. And so it was really nice to hear that.
Oh
All the
yeah.
beautiful energy floating around all weekend.
Right. And the animals, because we know that from CARE too, the wild animal sanctuary in Florida. When we go, by the end of class, it's like you could hear a pin drop I mean,
Mhm.
all of the animals, the wild animals, everyone is calm after 2 or 3 days of just being in that meditative space. And then plus it's kind of like that bell ringing, like we're ending, but the energy is still just going out and out and out and out and out, right? So like
Right.
even though you guys left, the energy was still just boom, 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 boom. But we can't see it and we can't necessarily feel it. So we think, oh, it's done. We stopped, it's done. But it's not like that at all, right?
Right. Yeah, it just keeps resonating.
Yeah. And over. I remember at CARE, when we were there, I think it was the last time you and I were there together, Kelly, and we on the third day, I went up to the house to get Kristen, and Kristen never sleeps in. She's always up at the crack of dawn. And the place was so quiet, and I went up to the house and I was knocking on the door and nobody was answering. So I went in and Kristen's like, oh my gosh, I just woke up. And this is like almost 9 o'clock. And she had slept in. All of the animals, nobody was crying, nobody was upset, nobody wanted food. Everybody was just completely zonked out. And it's just another testament to like this beautiful energy that we can share affects the environment too, right? It's
Yep.
not just the animals, it's the environment. So yeah, I hope you had a great retreat.
Did. It was wonderful.
Oh, yay.
Pretty
You're gonna have to tell us
fantastic.
about that. Yay. You know, and this is Kelly does this every year. So please, I don't know if she'll do it in August or September next year, but make sure that
I
you
think
kind
that
of
we're
keep
looking
your
at the end of September next year. I've already got
perfect.
one person signed up.
Wonderful. So I have a feeling next year is gonna fill up fast. So just something to put on
Yeah.
your radar, women, that I'm sorry, Stephen and Jeffrey, this is for women. It's a beautiful retreat where there's, you know, sound bowls and yoga and obviously animal Reiki and just a really beautiful place to go and kick back. So as soon as you get that up on your website, let us know, Kelly, so we
I
can
will.
start sharing that.
Thanks.
Thank you. Mwah. Love you. So
Love you.
anyone else?
Shrek is in my
Oh.
Reiki practice. I've got him on my meditation list.
Oh, thank you. All right. So anybody else really quickly before, oh, there's a comment here. Let me get this. Oh, Mary Lynn says, my dog and cat responded to time for Reiki and allow me to, oh, and then follow her to her space. I love that. See, they know. They know. Elaine, so good to see you on camera. So Elaine, you want to say something? Yes, please.
Yeah, I was just going to share really quickly. I jumped in a little late, but I did hear when you were talking about Dr. Joe, and I just wanted to say I've noticed the synchronicities between what I learned and it's in the SARA class I took, the level 2 animal Reiki, and I've been listening to his books, Becoming Supernatural.
Supernatural, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like there's all these overlaps, all these synchronicities. And I just want to comment on that in support of what you said. I agree with you.
Oh, thank you.
So I was
Thank you so
noticing
much.
it, and I was just like, oh, this is what we talked about. This is
Yeah.
this concept. It's being called something different, but it's the
Right.
same concept. So
Absolutely same concept. And I love how he talked about the mind and the heart coherence,
yes,
right? And coming from your
exactly.
heart. And yeah, it's all the same type of thing. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I really encourage everyone to read that book, Becoming Supernatural, because it's really helpful in accessing, you know, your true essence, don't you think, Elaine? It's like it gives
Yes.
you all the science on why it's so important for you to bring that calm and that peace into your body and to create that coherence between your mind and your heart. And that's why, you know, the Let Animals Lead method is in complete alignment with that. So when I was there, it was so easy to do the practices. It's like, oh yeah, we already do this. So thank
Well,
you,
I
Elaine.
did the just
Oh no, go ahead.
FYI, I did the Audible book just because it was easier for me instead of reading all the scientific details, it was easier for me to hear it. I
Yes,
guess I'm probably
agree.
an audio learner primarily. So
Same.
anyway,
He doesn't narrate it, by the way. It's
no,
a British man who
a British
narrates
man.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. Well, let us do a little meditation now, and we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation now, and we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do the breath meditation that I was talking about earlier. And we'll do And we're just going to get nice and comfortable. And we'll bring our hands into Gasho. And we'll close our eyes to close out all outside distractions. And we'll just take some nice deep breaths here, breathing in through our nose, pulling our breath deep into our belly, expanding our belly, and then slowly releasing the breath out the mouth, making sure your out breath is a little bit longer than your in breath. And a few more of those breaths, really allowing your body to relax on the out breath. Visualizing all stress and tension leaving your body with your breath. And whenever you're ready, bring your breath to a natural state, just a calm in, out. And let us set our intention that we're open to receive whatever it is that we need most at this moment in time. And we're open to holding space for all sentient beings. Whenever you're ready, you can bring your hands face up or face down in your lap. And we'll focus on the Joshin Kokyoho breath, which is the breath of light, breathing in through your nose. And when your breath hits your belly, imagine there's a light at your belly. And on the out breath, that light expands throughout your entire body. Breathing in, connecting to your light, and breathing out, expanding the light into every cell of your being. As you breathe in and out, envision your body illuminated in light. Imagine the light starting to seep out into the space around you. Feel yourself becoming this beautiful globe of light. Your light is your beautiful inner light. This is the light you are born with. It is the light of love, compassion, peace, and joy. It is who you are, your true nature, your true self. And this is the light that the animals connect to. This is what the animals see. They don't see your physical body. They see your light. They see your love. And that is what they want to connect with. And bring to mind an animal you love deeply. Envision them as a light. And envision them coming closer and connecting to you, light to light. Feel your light growing stronger and brighter as they connect to you. Feel your love for your animal being mirrored back to you, amplifying your beautiful light even further. In this beautiful space, we understand deeply that we are all one. In this space, we understand that love is the only energy that truly heals. And as you breathe in and out, just visualize your love and light spreading out further and further. Like the sun, your energy, your love, your light are powerful and can reach any place you think of. It can encompass the world. It connects to the universe. It connects to all existence. Your love and your light are limitless. And our animals remind us of this. Let's bring our hands into Gasho. and start to bring ourselves back into our body. But let us set our intent that we keep this beautiful light of love, of wisdom, and compassion shining bright within us today. And let us share our light with all that we meet. Let us share our light through a smile, through a kind gesture, through the connection we have to nature and to animals. Allow your light and your love to shine freely today. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring yourself back. And I just want to share quickly that next week is Allie Carrington is going to be speaking to us about dog speak. So it's a certain way of being and sharing with dogs specifically, and how to get your dog to understand what you want from them and how to understand what your dog is saying to you. This isn't animal communication. It's something that's really cool. She really helped me with my dog, Nika, when Nika was a little, God, she was maybe, how old was Nika? Nika was probably 5 months old. She was at that age where she's starting to pick up really bad habits. And we were living in an apartment, and she was starting to run to the door and bark. Or when I would go down to take the trash out or something, she would come to the door and she would bark, 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 bark. And I couldn't have that in an apartment. So I contacted Allie, and she gave me the most amazing tips that within 1 week, Nika was completely cured of barking at the door, and she never did it again. And this is like, usually dogs will get training and then they completely forget all about their training when they become like anywhere from 9 months to a year. It's like they get into their teenage years and they forget everything. She didn't. We just kept up the practice, and it was a miracle. So do come next week. This is going to be super, super exciting. I love Allie. She has the most beautiful energy. And I've known Allie for quite a few years, and she is an amazing dog trainer, an amazing dog speak representative, and she's also an animal Reiki teacher. So I'm super excited to share this with you. If you have a dog, you cannot afford to miss this. It is going to be so exciting. And Monica, I really hope you can come, because this is going to be really exciting for you, since you are at a dog shelter with 500 dogs. I think that this could really be helpful. And I really want you to make a connection with Allie. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate your support. I really appreciate you being here. And if you could keep Shrek in your meditations, I would so appreciate it. And so would he. So thank you all. Mwah. See you next week. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
Anne. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah, for making
Thank
the
you,
time.
Maria.
Bye,
Thanks. Thank you,
everybody.
Beth. So good to see
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you,
Leah.
Emily.
Good to see you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Joining us.
you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.